Alright guys, today is the first day of the Season 14 patch. I played about 12 games, about half of them were Yone, and I did some testing, some numbers on the test practice tool, um, played some games in, not Champions Cube, but in-houses, high yield in-houses, tried out some Yone there, and today I'm going to be talking about items, right? I think one of the most requested questions, at least in the MLA, is what to build on Yone, right? And so obviously it's only day one. Obviously it's only the first patch. There's going to be micro adjustments, hot fixes, buffs, and stuff. But basically, this is going to be a pseudo guide slash reference towards how you're going to build Yone, what items are considered strong on him, what makes a good item for Yone, what makes a weak item for him. So that way you guys kind of have a reference point to, okay, like this is what we need to be building and when, right? And if it gets buffed or nerfed, we just adjust accordingly, right? So yeah, without further ado, let's begin. So first we'll start with the obvious ones. S tier. Oh wait, let me go. Let me go through the tiers, right? What they mean, as well, just so we're all on the same page, right? S means basically you're building this literally every game, right? No exception. That's how good the item is on the champ, right? That's like if you think of a mage, right? Like a Syndra, the S tier is all the lost chapter items, right? Or maybe it's just Archangels because Archangel is better than the other two, or whatever, right? That would be S, right? Good means I'm building this most games, right? Maybe once in a while, once in a blue moon, I'm not really building that item, right? Maybe there's something else I'd rather build, but it's pretty solid, right? Makes sense on Yone's kit. Um, it's strong for the game, etc. Right? Situational is this is going to be the items that they're still good, right? But they're more niche, right? They're more specific to the game, more specific to what's going on in the game, right? Um, and then for this one, I wasn't really sure what to do for this, kind of C tier, the below average. I think really for this one is like, in theory it could be good, but in reality, right now it's not actually that good. There's not gonna be that many items on this list, in this list, but yeah, well, we'll see. And then bait is, just obvious bait items. So now that we've kind of established those things, let's just get the S's out of the way. So we got Kraken and Blade, and so basically just pick one or the other. Which one do you want to rush, right? Pretty straightforward. It's been like that in season 13. I don't think I really need to go over it too much. I think the big difference is that Blade the Rune King is actually a lot stronger than last season in terms of the quality of life, right? You actually get the soul in the first hit now, right? So let me pull up my league client. We take a look at Blade the Rune King, right? Um, yeah, it gives you the slow right away now. Your first basic attack, I guess the enemy champion slows them, but then you don't get the 3 hit anymore. But this is actually better for Yone because what you could do is you don't need to even use Q3 anymore. You could just E onto somebody, right? Get that Q, slow them, and boom, you can just chase them. So yeah, I think Blade of the Rude King is actually um, my pick right now over Kraken. Kraken is still really damn strong though. Kraken is going to do more damage overall. Obviously, you don't get the utility, right, or the chase potential, but in terms of raw damage, Kraken is really good, right? Yeah, and then here, what I'll actually do is I'm going to add another tier, and we're just going to put all these items that don't work, right? So NA. The AP items here, whatever that is. I don't even know what some of these are, but yeah, we'll go through. It's going to be a longer video, right? And so the next one we've got is, I think this is Terminus. Yep. So this is going to go here. And the reason why is, in theory, this makes sense on Yon, right? You get attack speed, attack damage on hits, armor and MR, and penetration as you attack, right? So it's kind of like old Rage Blade in terms of the pen and stuff and the on hit. It's just bad right now. It's understated, right? So that's why I put it here. In theory, it can be good. Right now, it's awful. Don't build it, right? And then next up, we have this tower thing. If I can find it, I don't know what the hell this is. It's an AP item. Okay, it doesn't apply to us. And then we've got the Hydra, which I believe is this. Yeah, this is bait. I mean, it's a lethality item, right? It gives 20 ability haste as well. The cleave is whatever. I don't think I need to explain that much. Then we've got Sundered Sky. Um, which doesn't display what it does, but it's kind of like Divine Thunder. Again, not very good for Yone. Uh, yeah, I'll put it in. I think it could be good, and no, I'll put it in bait. So we've got. I think this is the Derek item now, one of the new lethality items. If I can find it, it's one of these. It's this one. Um, Look, to be honest, it's just a worse Storm Razor for Yone. So bait. This is the approach, I think, or something. It's the one opportunity, I think it's called, right? Yeah, here we go. Lethality outside of combat, blah blah blah. Honestly, I should just put all the lethality items here. I think this is the ability haste one, right? People were talking about how this one could be decent on Yone, if I can find it. It was this one, right? Experimental Hexplate. Look, it gives decent stats for Yone. Now, the reason why I don't like it is that typically on Yone, you're not using your ult at the start of the fight, right? Unless, you've got a full 5-on-5 engage comp and you're playing, for big, wombo combo, which is so rare in solo queue, so situational. I don't really think it's that good. I think, honestly, this is why I have this bait tab, to be honest. I'll put these to NA because these are lethality items, right? Whenever even considering those. Um, yeah, so I'm doing this on the fly, so we're gonna be changing some things up. But yeah, I think this is bait, to be honest. Maybe it'll be good in the future, right? It does have the things that can that should, in theory, be good for Yon. But again, the problem is you don't want to be. You're not like a Zeri, right? You're not pressing all at the start of the fight most of the time as Yon. You're really not doing that. So that's why I don't really like it. I believe this is an AP item. I don't know what the hell that is. It looks like an AP item. If we can find it. I'm assuming it's this, and they changed it, how it looks. Or they updated how it looks. I'll just take a quick look. Yeah, I don't know what this is. It looks like an AP item, so we're putting that in a AP item. That also looks like an AP item or something. It's some kind of backpack. I think it's this. Oh, this is like Dead Man's Plate or whatever, but for supports as well. Look, I think it could be good in theory. To be honest, I haven't tried it. Yeah, also make a. We're gonna do that right now / haven't tried it. We'll do that. We'll have this. I think it could be decent. Honestly, movement speed is a good stat on Yone. And you get a slow on it, which is quite good. Yone doesn't really have CC if you're not going Blade. So if you're going Kraken and maybe you want a really cheap item, this honestly could be decent. So yeah, look, it could be good, to be honest. This is lethality item. That looks like a support item. This cloth thing, I don't know what that is. That also looks like a support item, though. That's probably a support item. These are all support items. Abyssal Mask. I mean, that's not really bait. That's just bad. Athemas, honestly, good in theory. Look, actually, I'll put in a situation. There are rare times where you can go Anathema's 4th or 5th on Yone, and it's decent. Blade the Ruin King. Or sorry, a Black Cleaver, obviously not very good. We'll put it in the bait tab. BT, good. I would say it's pretty good, right? You definitely can't go wrong with going BT every game, so that's definitely a good category. I mean, it gives a fuck ton of lifesteal, crit. You have to keep in mind that Yone's best stat is actually lifesteal after attack speed, right? So if I had to make a list, right? Attack speed is first, lifesteal is second, crit is third. Actually, AD is probably third. Defensive stats is fourth, and then crit is last, right? So we get a lot of lifesteal, which is really good, but then crit is down here, so it's like whatever, right? You might think that's weird. The crit's all the way at the bottom, but all these other stats are just better, right? All of them are good, right? And just if I had to make a list, that's the order, right? So yeah, BT is fine. This thing is honestly situational. This thing is actually really stat efficient. Now the haste obviously isn't that good for Yone, but if you really need grievous wounds, that's not the end of the world. It does give 55 AD and 250 health, so this is a situational item. Bad. This is also situational. Dead Man's Plate is probably just a better version of this Trailblazer. Situationally good. 4th item, 5th item can be good if you're trying to chase people. That stands insanely good. Honestly, I might even put it in S. Let me take a look at it. No, actually, they gave it back some haste that I lost the stats. I used to actually not have haste. I think like what happened was I had haste. They removed it, and then I guess this season they brought it back. So it's gonna be situational. Again, it's good, but haste is kind of a wasted stat on Yone, and there's actually a much better armor item you can go. Right, I think this is like a situational fifth or sixth item that stance. So yeah, um, Echoes, Eclipse. Honestly, it's so broken right now that I would put it in situational. This item is just completely overpowered right now. I'm pretty sure. Again, wasted stats because it's 15 ability haste, but this item is freaking insane. Right, 2,800 gold and you get the Eclipse proc. You're only losing 15 abilities. You're getting 70 AD. Do not sleep on this item on Yone. Right, I might even put it on the good tap, but I'll leave it in situational. This item is freaking good on Yone. So this is a third or fourth item. Edge Knight's pretty bait, to be honest. To bad. Essence Reaver. Look, honestly, Essence Reaver isn't the worst on Yone. It gives crit, AD, and that Spellblade is actually good on Yone, like decent on Yone. Again, no defensive stats, no lifesteal, no attack speed though. So yeah, it's really not that good, but it's not as bad as you think either. So let's go into bait tab. This doesn't work. Force of Nature, situational item again. Say very similar to Deadman's Plate. Um, Build div they have a AP damage, and for some reason you just need to be a pure frontliner. Frozen Heart is horrible. GA is people like GA on Yon. I'm situational on it. I think it's okay. Very understated item. You're basically paying all the costs for the GA revive. Most of the time is Yon. If you're getting one shot and your GA, what's going to happen is that you're going to EN, get one shot, your GA procs, you immediately go back to your E, there can't be your corpse, you're dead. Right? So I think it's situational. Rage Blade, bait, it turns off your crit. Hard Steel, good in theory, but kind of bad in practice. The reason why it's good in theory is that it gives a lot of HP and damage, right? So you just get base damage, right? Rare bruisery frontlining item like Frostfire or whatever else, right? At Vessel Mass for AP champions. So in theory, it could be good. I tried it when it first became a mythic with season 13. It was okay, right? Which I think is perfect for this tab as a C tier. It's really just okay. Nothing special about it. Now Hullbreaker, right? Hullbreaker was a really insane item in season 13. Probably, if I had to make a tier even above S, like a Z tier, it would go up there because it was just that broken in solo queue. This season, quite weak. Again, it makes sense as on a champion like Yone, right? You can split push or group, right? This item is great for champions like split pushing. Not good right now. Don't build this shit. It's probably honestly I should put it in bait right now, but it's in between here, right? Because it's bad right now, right? If they buff it, it'll be better for him. We'll probably go into the situational tab, but right now it's bait, right? Frostfire. This is probably in the good tab, right? It is very good, and there's a pairing you can do with Frostfire that makes it really, really strong, right? Combined with Blade of the Ruin King, really, really good. So Shield Bow. Now this one is tricky, right? I'm in between good and S with it. I think I'm gonna put it in good because there's actually an item that just completely overshadows Shield Bow in my opinion for Yon. We do get the stats we really want, defensive stats, right? Lifesteal, AD, crit. Very, very good on him, right? I would say it's right below Iceborne, right? Very good. Pure Mandate shit. Now, IE. People are going to be really upset with this, but I really don't think IE is that good. I haven't built it a single time. You just don't need the damage on Yon, right? I like to think of IE, let me give you a hypothetical scenario, right? A champion like Viego, he scales insanely hard with crit, right? Now, why does no one build IE on Viego? Well, because you are paper thin, right? Just because the item, right, in theory makes sense, right? It's not actually that good on melee champions sometimes. So, look, situationally, if you really need the damage, IE is fine. Don't get baited by this, guys. You don't need that much damage on anyone. Trust me, you do not. Defensive items are a lot better than pure damage items, okay? On you. It's a pure damage item. This is like an item I would maybe go third or fourth or fifth if we need the damage, right? If you have the enemy as a Zac, a Maokai, an Udyr, and your team's got an Enchanter, and you guys need the damage, sure, you can go IE. So I'm gonna put it at the bottom of situational. Really not that good. Adaptive Helm, this item is great. Um, reason why I put it only in good here and not up here is because Iceborne is just better, in my opinion. Obviously, this gives you the stats against MR, but again, there's going to be a really hard hitting MR item coming in later on that, again, just overshadows everything. So I'm just going to leave this in good. You can build this third or fourth if you want. It's decent. Nice Val, pretty trash. This is bad, this is bad. Locket is bait. LDR, this one is, I would say, look, LDR is very similar to IE, very similar. I don't really see why you'd build LDR over IE. So, yeah, it's just going to go here, to be honest, because there's no reason to ever build this over this, and we're barely building this to begin with, right? Um, Now, last season, when your mythic was Iceborne, right, or Triforce or something, then this became a lot better because you couldn't buy IE. But because you can buy IE now, you should just build IE. It's just better in every single way if you want damage. All right, now we get to the big daddy here, Maw. This is going right now. It's going here, right? I think if I had to do it, I would put it here. This is the order I got right now. I think Blade of the King's best item. Then actually Maw is second, and then Kraken. And so the reason why, if we take a look at Maw, right, it's got no haste, right? It's got pure defensive stats and 65 AD. 65 AD is freaking crazy for Yone. That is so much AD for 2,800 gold. That's almost Eclipse. But then you get 50 MR and an absolute, to be honest, broken shield. This it gives you life steal, right? Like when you need it, right? Huge shield, AD, MR combined with this, completely broken, right? So yeah, I think this is at the very top. As I build this literally almost every game because you know what's happening right now. Everyone loves this, the AP Storm Surge, no haste builds or whatever. Build this, completely shit on them every time. This item is freaking crazy, Onion. Magi's Mercurial. This one is good. I like Mercurial a lot. It's slept on. Gets MR crit lifesteal. I would build this, right? If for some reason I wasn't really against burst mages like magic damage champs, like maybe they had a Talia, right, who went full CDR, right, like CDR boots, right, Rabidons plus whatever, right? No Storm Surge, no Pen, right? I would build this instead. If I was against the Ash, I would probably build this, right? So yeah, I think this is a great item. Look, it could go in the situational, but yeah, I think it's just good, right? I think it goes to the bottom of good, borderline situational, but yeah, that definitely can't go wrong with the item. These are all trash. This item, to be honest, quite bait in my opinion. If we take a look at it, mortal reminder. People always ask me about this item. Complete bait in my opinion. Armor pen is not really that good on Yone, to be honest. It's okay. Again, just build IE instead. Crit chance is whatever. Grievous wounds if you really need it. I'd literally rather you build this than that because it gives more AD and HP and it's cheaper. Just don't build this. This thing is bait. These are all bad. Navori, bait. I tried it. It's just worse than IE, and IE is already just whatever. PD is interesting. I actually am gonna put PD here. To be honest, I actually think PD is underrated. There's a build I've been doing, been floating around as like a fifth item PD. What I've been doing is I'll go Blade of the Rune King, right? Then Maw, then this Iceborne item, that's my core 3, and now I need to round out my crit. So then I'll probably go actually PD because it's quite cheap, right? And Kraken, right? So my build would probably be Blade of the Rune King, Maw, right? Iceborne, Kraken, right? And then once you have this much attack speed with the Blade of the Rune King and the Kraken, PD is so good. It is such a multiplier to your on-hit damage because you're attacking so freaking fast and moving so fast, right? You just stick on them, right? Do not sleep on PD as a fifth or sixth item, guys. It is insanely good for how cheap it is, right? Because what you can even do is just stick with the PD because it's so cheap and then switch to IE on your sixth item if you really want. Um, but yeah, I think PD is honestly really really good. So like if you somehow have Blade of the Ruin King and Kraken together, which you can do, it's very good. then you want to go PD. PD is insane with that combo. If you don't, I really wouldn't. PD with only one of them is just okay. So yeah, that's PD. Randuin's good item. I mean, self-explanatory. It is a very, very strong defensive item if you really need armor and you're against crit champions and you don't need damage on your team, right? Then you can build that. I would say it's worse than Iceborne, but still solid. RC, it's trash, bait. Ravenous Hydra, pretty damn bad. There's better lifesteal items. Redemption, no one cares. Hurricane doesn't work. Rylai's. Serpent's Fang, pretty bait, to be honest. Shuldia's. Now, Grudge, in my opinion, goes here. And you guys might be confused because I was just talking about how bad Armor Pen is from this, right? Now, the thing is that champions without slows, the slow items are really insane, right? This slow, if you don't have Iceborne, is freaking crazy. Like, it's actually so good. I built this third or fourth one a few games against really heavy uh, armor stackers just for the slow. You stick on them like crazy. It's solid, right? Obviously, we got wasted stats from the haste, but it's really not that bad, right? It's honestly, I like it over this most games, right? Now, to be honest, actually, I think I'll put it here. It's probably better than these ones, but it's still not that good. I'd still rather just go IE now. Again, because the mythic system is unlocked, that raises the value of IE and lowers the value of these, right? These are all bad. Uh, this is bait. To be honest, the passive is really good on it though. Where the longer you're in combat, you do more damage. Insane for Yone, but haste is just wasted. Visage is situationally good. I think if you're stacking lifesteal, if you're doing a lifesteal stacking build, we go Blade, Shield Bow, BT. Visage fourth is really good. These suck. Shiv is complete bait, the definition of bait. Horrible item, to be honest. You don't need the wave clear, and the wave clear is shit anyway. Uh, it does basically like no extra damage, excuse me. No defensive stats, very little attack speed, awful. Sterex, worst version of Maul and Shield Bow, so that's bait in my opinion. Stormrazor, I'm actually gonna put in good. I've actually played a few games where I rushed Stormrazor instead of Blade the Rune King and Kraken. Very specific matchups. We're talking a champ with a lot of movement speed that can kind of run away from you, right? Where you need kind of that sticking power from this. And specifically, the main one I rushed it against is Zoe. And again, the reason why is because Zoe is such a rat champ. She moves so fast with that W movement speed that if you actually build this, you could just stick onto her. So this item is actually pretty decent. Stridebaker, good in theory. I don't think it's that good right now, to be honest. I'd rather build any of these items above. Look, it gives attack speed, it gives health, it has a good slow. But why not just build this, right? Why not just build Iceborne? Like, I don't really think it's that good, right? If we take a look at it, look, I haven't played with it that much, but really, like, it's so expensive, guys. You have to keep in mind the expense on it, right? The stats are really just mediocre for the price. I mean, Eclipse gives you literally 30 more AD for what? For like 300 less gold, right? Just completely not that good. Sunfire, I haven't tried it in a while. I did. I used to actually go Zerkers in the Sunfire Rush against Assassins way back in the day. Right now, I don't really know. I haven't used it that much. Wait, Sunfire's still in the game, right? Yeah, it is. Yeah, look, it's decent. You don't really need the wave clear. You don't really need the burn. So, yeah, it's at the bottom here. It's just, like, just quite bad. Collector, bait, right? We don't. Lethality is just mid as fuck on Yon. Thornmail, bait, honestly. I'm going to put this in the bait tab. Way better armor items. You've got Iceborne. You've got Deadman's. Randuin's, Jaxo, J. So many better items. Thornmail is completely just bad on Yon. And now we're getting to some more spicy ones here. We got two spicy ones coming up. Titanic. I'm going to put this one in good in theory, but it's bad. I tried it in theory. It's pretty good on Yon because it's so broken right now. You don't really need it. It just doesn't really feel like it does that much, to be honest. The worst part about it, honestly, for a champion like Yone is building up to it feels fucking horrible. Like these three components are just horrible, and so that's why I'm gonna put it in here because just like once you have it, it's okay. And I think once you have it, it's in here. But again, leading up to it is quite bad, and it's 3,300 gold. So I really think it's like that's probably better than Stride Breaker and Heartsteel at this item. Honestly, I don't know why this one's here. It should be like here. Um, better than Terminus. I would say it's probably like here. Um, I think these ones are better if I had to order it like this. Now we get the Triforce, which I love Triforce. I'm gonna put Triforce at the top of good. I think it's because it's worse than Frostfire, and you can't have both, and it lowers the value a lot. If Frostfire wasn't so good on Yone, I would say this goes up. It would even go to S in my opinion, because you could combine, like you can do Blade of the Ruin King, Maw this plus like Randuin's or Jackshow or BT, and you're and you're cooking. So yeah, I think I'll put it in good. Um, you might be wondering why is it better than IE, right? Reason why is because, well, number one, I think yeah, it's around the same price as IE, but the main thing is look at how much HP it gives and attack speed. 43% attack speed to 400 HP. You don't get that from IE, and you get the Spellblade passive, which you procs a lot, and you get the movement speed, right? So you get defensive stats, you get movement speed and utility, you get a good amount of AD, and you get health. You have to remember, guys, AD is the baseline attack speed, and then AD is the baseline multipliers for your crit. So you could have all the crit in the world, but if you don't have that much AD from your other items, or you don't have that much attack speed, it's like really not that useful, right? Not to mention crit has a negative multiplier on Yone also, right? Umbral Glaive, Bait, Void Staff, Warmogs, Bait, worse than all these other items. Don't need it. Wits Ends, top of good, right? I think it goes here, to be honest. It loses value because Maul is so strong. If Maul wasn't as good, I think I'd raise it up a bit, right? Because we can even go Blade of the Ruin King, Triforce, this, and it'd be pretty strong, right? Or Blade of the Ruin King, this, and that's pretty good. Um, so yeah, it's pretty solid. Yomu's horrible. These all suck, and then yeah, that's it. So yeah, there's a lot of items here. Basically, if you're wondering, like if you need a specific guide or TLDR, we'll run through it again. These I would personally build every game. One of these three should be built every single game, right? Kraken plus Maw, Blade of the Ruin King plus Maw. This item is so insanely good. Obviously, if it gets full no AP champions, don't build it. But yeah, this item is just insanely broken in combination with one of these, right? Especially because mages lost a lot of haste, right? You're just so fucking tanky. This item is look. I slept on it recently when I was doing in houses and stuff. But this item is actually quite good still on your own. Doesn't give tenacity anymore, the damage reduction, but cheap. Got the slow, still really strong. What's is good, overshadowed by mom, etc. So really, my build path most games is either Blade of the Ruin King or Kraken, then either Iceborne first or second, or Maw second, and then you build the other one that you haven't built. And then after that, I most of the time will probably go BT, right, or one of the situational items, right, Death Dance, Eclipse, PD if I have Kraken, right, and Blade of the Ruin came together. So yeah, I would say stick your builds to these top three, right. I'd make sure you're building one of these two every single game, and you really should be putting a lot of priority on Ball and Iceborne. And so that's my TLDR. And also the main thing is just don't get baited by crit items that much, guys. You don't need crit on Yon. He does plenty of damage already. Defensive stats are the number one most important thing you need on him after attack speed and lifesteal. So yeah, that's it. I hope this helped. And if you have any other questions, just let me know.